Welcome to your daily tech news deep dive for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. It really does feel like someone flipped a switch today because there is just a ton of news.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And you shared a whole stack of articles with us. A significant chunk of it, as you've probably noticed, is laser focused on one thing, the Nintendo Switch 2. So let's unpack everything you need to know.
Absolutely. It's quite a deluge of information, yeah. And the anticipation for the Switch 2 has, well, clearly reached a fever pitch. Let's dive into the headline news, the official launch date and price.
Right. So mark your calendars. The
All right.
Switch 2 is officially launching June 5th and will cost $450. Pre-orders kick off next week, April 9th. What are your initial thoughts on that price point and timing?
Well, June 5th, that lines up with a lot of the speculation we've been hearing, so that feels, expected.
Mm-hmm.
The April 9th pre-order date gives potential buyers a little over a month to decide and prepare, which is good. The $450 price, though, that's definitely a jump from the original Switch's launch price. It kind of brings up the question of what that means for accessibility and how it positions the console, in the current gaming landscape.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how consumers weigh the cost against the promised upgrades.
Good point. Now, if you're already planning on picking up the next Mario Kart, and let's be honest, who isn't at least a little curious?
Yeah, probably most people.
Nintendo's offering a bundle. You can snag the Switch 2 along with the new exclusive Mario Kart World for $500. That shaves off a bit compared to buying them separately.
Yeah, bundles are always a smart way to incentivize early adoption, move software alongside the hardware. That $50 saving for getting Mario Kart World with the console is a decent incentive for fans of the series for sure.
And here's something that rewards the dedicated Nintendo faithful. If you're planning to pre-order directly from Nintendo, they're giving priority to those with the Nintendo Switch Online membership.
Interesting.
Yeah, specifically, if you've been a member for 12 or more months and have clocked at least 50 gameplay hours as of today, that's pretty specific criteria.
Wow, yeah. That's a fascinating move by Nintendo. It's clearly designed to prioritize their most engaged users, right?
Yeah,
Rewarding loyalty and potentially making it harder for scalpers to dominate the initial pre-order waves.
good point.
It raises an interesting question about how companies balance rewarding dedicated customers with, broader market access.
Definitely. Now, let's talk about playing with friends and family locally. The Switch 2 is launching with a game share feature. This will let you play local multiplayer on multiple consoles with just one game copy.
Oh, nice. Like DS download play.
Exactly. It even works with original Switch and Switch Lite models for select games. It's kind of like the old Nintendo DS game sharing, which was always a great feature.
Absolutely. Local multiplayer has always been a key part of the Nintendo experience,
Mhm.
and GameShare looks like a fantastic way to lower the barrier for people to play together. And the fact that it extends compatibility to the original Switch and Switch Lite for certain titles is a really thoughtful touch. It shows they're not just abandoning their existing user base.
Right.
When we think about Nintendo's history, this feels very much in line with their focus on accessible shared gaming experiences.
Right. At launch, GameShare will be compatible with a nice selection of games. Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker, Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury, Clubhouse Games, Super Mario Odyssey, and Big Brain Academy, with more to come down the line.
That's a solid initial lineup to showcase the feature. Covers a range of game types, puzzle solving, platformers, party games. Includes some popular titles too.
Yeah.
The promise of future compatibility will be crucial for its long-term appeal though.
Okay, here's a bit of behind-the-scenes trivia for you. Nintendo apparently considered calling the new console the Super Nintendo Switch.
Oh, really? Like the SNES?
Kinda, but
Yeah.
they ultimately decided against it, the reasoning. To avoid confusion, since the Switch 2 can play original Switch games, unlike the Super Nintendo and the original NES,
Oh.
they wanted to make that distinction very clear.
That's actually a really interesting insight into their naming strategy. It suggests they learned some valuable lessons from the Wii U era, right? Where the name similarity caused significant confusion.
Totally, Wii U.
Highlighting the backwards compatibility directly in the name Switch 2, while seemingly straightforward, is a much clearer message to the market.
Couldn't agree more. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The Switch 2 hardware itself. The new console is noticeably larger, sporting a 7.9-inch 1080p LCD screen. That's compared to the original's 6.2-inch 720p display.
Wow, 7.9 inches.
Yeah. It also boasts support for up to a 120 Hz refresh rate and HDR, So visually, we're looking at a pretty significant upgrade.
Absolutely. That jump in screen size, resolution, and adding high refresh rate and HDR support,
Right.
that should mean a much sharper, more vibrant, smoother visual experience,
Right.
whether you're playing handheld or on a TV. While, some might have hoped for an OLED screen like the updated original Switch. These LCD improvements are still substantial and should make a real difference.
And when you dock it, it can output at up to 4K resolution.
Okay, nice.
The new dock also includes a built-in fan for cooling. That kind of hints at the increased power under the hood, doesn't it? And the potential for more heat.
Yeah, the 4K output in docked mode is a big step up, addresses a common desire from players. And the fan in the dock strongly suggests, that the Switch 2 will be pushing more processing power, especially at higher resolutions. This focus on cooling should help maintain consistent performance, hopefully.
Now, internally, we're looking at a big boost in storage. The Switch 2 comes with 256 GB of internal storage.
Finally. That's much better.
Right. However, when it comes to expanding that, it's exclusively using the faster microSD Express cards.
Oh, Express. Okay.
Yeah. Your older UHSI microSD cards from your original Switch. They'll only work for loading videos and screenshots, not for playing Switch 2 games. That's a bit of a change, isn't it?
It's a significant shift, yeah. It has advantages and potential drawbacks. The 256 GB internal storage is definitely welcome because the original was so small.
So small.
But the move to microSD Express for game storage, that means consumers will likely face higher costs initially. Those cards are currently rarer and more expensive than traditional microSDs.
Exactly. These microSD Express cards use NVMe and PCIe tech, which means much faster read and write speeds, potentially 3 to 4 times faster than the UHSI cards we're used to.
Okay. How?
While that speed is a major plus for loading times and performance, the current market for these cards has limited high-capacity options, and they do come with a premium price tag.
Right.
Nintendo has teased some 256 GB cards from Samsung and SanDisk with Mario branding, so at least we know some options are on the way. But basically, these new cards are like super fast lanes on a digital highway compared to the regular roads we've been using.
That's a great analogy. The speed increase could really lead to noticeably quicker game loading, smoother streaming of assets. Maybe even enable developers to make bigger, more complex worlds.
Yeah?
But yeah, the current limited availability and higher prices are definitely something consumers will need to factor in. The Mario branded cards might help with visibility, maybe bring prices down over time, but the initial investment for expanding storage is likely going to be higher.
Now, in terms of portability, there's a slight trade-off, it seems. The estimated battery life for the Switch 2 is listed as 6.5 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a little shorter than the original Switch and the Switch OLED models.
That slight reduction is likely a consequence of the more powerful processor, the bigger screen, maybe the faster storage, drawing more power.
Makes sense.
While it's not a dramatic decrease, it's something that users who prioritize long handheld sessions will need to keep in mind. And of course, actual battery life will vary depending on the game.
Right, always does. On a more positive note for connectivity, the Switch 2 will support the faster Wi-Fi 6 standard.
Good, that's needed.
Yeah. So, downloading games, updates, online play should see improvements in speed and stability, provided you have a compatible router at home, obviously.
Yeah, the inclusion of Wi-Fi 6 is a welcome and necessary upgrade, brings it up to current standards. This will definitely benefit users who download a lot or play online.
Okay, let's move on to the controllers. The new Joy-Con 2 controllers. They now attach magnetically, which sounds pretty slick.
Magnetically, okay.
Yeah. They also feature larger analog sticks and more durable steel SL and SR buttons. But the really interesting new feature is that they can be used as mouse-like controllers.
Wait, mouse-like? How?
Yeah, it could offer much more precise aiming in certain games, potentially make more PC ports viable. Apparently this functionality even works if you're just holding them against your pants.
Against your pants? Seriously?
Apparently.
Okay, well, the magnetic attachment sounds like a nice refinement. Larger sticks, robust buttons, sensible improvements, addresses durability concerns.
Absolutely.
The mouse-like functionality, though, that's genuinely intriguing. Could open up new ways to play certain genres, like strategy games, FPS, even point and clicks. The works on pants detail definitely adds a bit of that classic quirky Nintendo charm.
It really does. Interestingly, the Joy-Con 2 controllers no longer include an IR sensor. That was used for some motion tracking on the Wii and original Switch.
Oh, no IR.
Yeah, so for games that heavily relied on that specific tech, there might be changes, or maybe they just won't be fully compatible.
The removal of the IR sensor does suggest a potential shift in focus for motion controls. While it was key for certain games, maybe the new mouse-like function and the gyro controls provide alternatives.
Could be.
It's possible some older games relying heavily on IR might not translate directly without updates yet.
Now, here's a feature many have been asking for. The Switch 2 introduces built-in voice chat called Game Chat.
Finally, built-in voice chat.
Right. It's activated by a dedicated new Seize button on the right. Joy-Con 2 and the new Pro Controller supports up to 12 people. The console itself has a built-in microphone.
Wow, okay.
You can also share your gameplay screen with up to 4 friends. This feels like such a long overdue addition for Nintendo.
Absolutely. Built-in voice chat has been a consistent request for so long. The inclusion of Game Chat is a significant step forward for the online social experience. A dedicated button makes it easily accessible. And screen sharing adds another layer.
Expanding on the social features, there will be an optional $50 Switch 2 camera accessory.
A camera.
This will allow for video chat with up to 4 people, and you can even superimpose your video feed over your gameplay. Looks like Nintendo is really leaning into more interactive online experiences.
The optional camera further expands the possibilities. Overlaying video chat onto gameplay could be really appealing for streamers, content creators, or just friends wanting a more personal connection online.
Now, a bit about the cost. Game Chat will eventually require a Nintendo Switch online subscription.
There's the catch.
But it will be free to use until March 31st, 2026, so you'll have almost a year to try it out before it becomes a paid feature.
Offering it free initially is a smart strategy. Let users experience it, integrate it into their play without immediate cost. Should encourage adoption and provide feedback before it goes behind the paywall.
For parents, Nintendo is including robust controls for Game Chat. Through the updated Parental Controls app, parents can manage who their kids can chat with and whether they can use video. Good to see them addressing safety concerns.
Yeah, the inclusion of comprehensive parental controls is responsible and important. Shows they're taking online safety seriously and giving parents the tools they need.
For those who prefer a more traditional controller, a new Pro Controller will be available for $80.
$80. Okay.
It includes the C button for Game Chat, a dedicated screen capture button, a welcome audio jack,
Audio jack. Yes.
what they're calling HD Rumble 2, motion controls, Amiibo functionality, and customizable GL and GR buttons on the back. Sounds like a very premium offering.
Yeah, the new Pro Controller sounds fully featured. The C button, audio jack, custom back buttons, enhanced rumble. Significant upgrade in functionality and immersion.
And for fans of a classic, Nintendo is also launching a new wireless GameCube controller alongside the console.
No way. A wireless GameCube controller.
Yeah, it features a USB-C connection and, importantly, the new C button for Game Chat. This will be exclusively available for Nintendo Online subscribers, though.
Oh, exclusive. Okay. Still, that's fantastic news for longtime fans, especially with GameCube games coming to NSO. Wireless USB-C, the C button, makes it compatible. And making it exclusive add value to the service. Definitely an incentive.
For the racers out there, the Joy-Con 2 wheel will be available in a 2-pack for $20. Perfect for diving straight into Mario Kart World.
The return to the wheel accessory is a natural fit with a new Mario Kart. $20 for 2 seems affordable for families and friends.
To keep your new console safe, Nintendo's offering 2 official carrying cases, a $35 case for handheld mode and a larger $80 case for everything. Options depending on how you plan to use it.
Offering 2 options caters to different needs and budgets. The cheaper handheld case for portability, the larger one for full protection and accessories. Makes sense.
In a welcome move towards inclusivity, Nintendo is promising new accessibility features for the Switch 2. These include options for adjusting font sizes, speech-to-text within Game Chat, and a screen reader. This is really great to see.
Yeah, the focus on accessibility is truly commendable. Adjustable font sizes, speech-to-text, screen reader will significantly improve the experience for a wider range of players. Shows a commitment to inclusivity.
Finally, for those upgrading, Nintendo is aiming to make the transition smooth. They're making it easy to transfer digital games, save data, and your existing NSO membership to the new console.
Oh, good.
That's always a relief to hear.
A seamless transfer process is absolutely crucial for encouraging upgrades. Ensuring purchases, saves, memberships carry over removes a significant barrier for existing owners.
All right, let's switch gears now and talk about the games. The big Day 1 exclusive is Mario Kart World, and it comes with a bit of a premium price tag at $80 on its own.
$80, wow.
Yeah. However, as we mentioned, it's also in that bundle for $500, which effectively brings the game cost down if you're buying both anyway. What do you make of that standalone price?
Well, $80 is definitely on the higher end, even for flagship titles. But given it's a brand new Mario Kart key launch title for a new console, Nintendo's clearly positioning it as a major release. The bundle option certainly softens the blow for launch buyers, though.
And it sounds like a massive evolution for the series. Mario Kart World will feature off-road driving, a free roam mode, courses set in a contiguous world with dynamic time and weather.
A contiguous world in Mario Kart.
Yeah. Massive 24-player Grand Prix races where you actually drive between courses and a knockout tour elimination mode. That's a lot of new stuff.
Those features sound incredibly ambitious, could really redefine Mario Kart. A contiguous world with dynamic elements, 24-player races, significant departure from the traditional circuit structure. Suggests a much more immersive, expansive game. The free roam mode sounds particularly intriguing.
We'll be getting more in-depth details on Mario Kart World on April 17th, so keep an eye out for that. Now, for fans of Hyrule, get ready. Upgraded Switch 2 editions of The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom are on their way.
Upgraded editions.
Okay, these will feature enhanced graphics, smoother frame rates, HDR support, and some new features in a companion mobile app, Map Guidance, sharing creations via QR codes.
Revisiting those masterpieces with enhanced visuals and performance on the Switch 2 is smart. They're already considered classics. The upgrades and companion app features will likely make them even more appealing.
And here's some fantastic news for those who already own these iconic games. If you own either BotW or TouchUp and you have a Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack subscription, these enhanced versions will be available to you for free.
Whoa, free upgrades. That's huge.
Right, that's a pretty significant bonus.
That's a truly excellent value proposition for existing fans invested in the ecosystem and the expansion pack. Great way to reward loyalty and incentivize subscriptions. It also raises interesting points about how they'll handle enhanced versions going forward.
Looking at completely new experiences, a brand new 3D Donkey Kong platformer titled Donkey Kong Bonanza is launching exclusively on July 17th.
Bonanza. Okay. A new 3D DK.
It promises destructible environments in classic side-scrolling sections. And surprisingly, we're also getting a new Kirby Air Riders game sometime this year, from none other than the director of Super Smash Bros.
A new 3D Donkey Kong is exciting news, especially after the Country series. Destructible environments sound fun. And a new Kirby Air Riders, especially with Sakurai involved. That'll generate a lot of buzz.
In a genuinely surprising announcement, a completely new game from FromSoftware.
FromSoft on Switch 2.
Yeah. Called The Duskbloods, coming exclusively to Switch 2 in 2026. Described as a steampunk vampire adventure and a spiritual successor to Bloodborne.
Whoa. A FromSoftware exclusive spiritual successor to Bloodborne. That's a massive coup for Nintendo. Signals a broadening of the types of exclusives they're aiming for. Huge interest generator.
For retro gaming enthusiasts, the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack is getting a major boost. Starting June 5th, it will begin adding GameCube games.
GameCube. Finally.
Exclusively for Switch 2 owners who subscribe to the expansion pack, though.
Ah, okay. Switch 2 exclusive. Still great.
Initial launch titles include The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX, with online multiplayer for supported games and improved resolution. This is huge news.
Adding GameCube games to the expansion pack exclusively for Switch 2 is fantastic. Enhances the value, taps into a beloved era. Strong initial lineup, online multiplayer, improved visuals. Very appealing.
It looks like the Switch 2 is also getting strong third-party support right out of the gate. A number of games launching alongside the console on June 5th, including Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk on Switch 2.
Split Fiction, Hitman World of Assassination, Street Fighter 6, and EA Sports FC. Other highly anticipated third-party titles coming include Hades II, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, Borderlands 4, Elden Ring, Tarnished Edition,
Elden Ring 2.
Project Diablo 7, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, and even a port of Civilization 7. That's a pretty impressive list.
Yeah, that robust lineup is a very positive sign. Inclusion of major titles like Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, FFVI Remake shows the increased power, addresses the key limitation of the original Switch. The variety of genres indicates broad support. Civ 7's running well, maybe with the mouse-like Joy-Cons. Exciting.
We also got a very brief update on Hollow Knight. Silksong.
Yeah.
Shown with a 2025 release window, but as anyone following knows, take that with a significant grain of salt.
Yeah. Silksong reappearing with 2025 will generate excitement, but given the history, cautious optimism is definitely wise.
There's also a paid launch title called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, tech demos and mini games to help you understand the new features. Sounds like a good way to get acquainted.
Yeah. A dedicated welcome tour could be useful and engaging. Interactive way to learn about the hardware and software, new Joy-Con features, enhanced visuals.
And finally, it looks like select existing first-party Switch games will be receiving paid Switch 2 enhancements.
Paid enhancements.
These include Super Mario Party Jamboree, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, getting a new world,
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, which will have distinct Switch and enhanced Switch 2 versions.
Two distinct versions. So
Yeah, and Pokemon Legends, Z a day. So if you want the definitive versions, there might be an additional cost involved.
the idea of paid enhancements is interesting. Offers players improved visuals, maybe new content, but could raise questions about value, especially if you already own the original. Metroid Prime 4 having two versions clearly indicates a significant difference in what the Switch 2 can deliver.
Okay, let's completely change gears now. Dive into some other tech news that caught our attention today. One particularly interesting story, Wikipedia facing a massive surge in traffic,
Yeah.
but not from human readers,
Oh, from what then?
from AI bot crawlers training generative AI models.
Ah, makes sense. Scraping data.
Yeah. This increased traffic is causing a spike in bandwidth usage, potentially slowing access for regular users, and costing Wikimedia more money because these bots often access obscure pages that aren't cached. The AI is putting a strain on the resource it learns from.
That really highlights an unforeseen consequence of the AI boom, doesn't it? The sheer volume of data being scraped is straining infrastructure like Wikipedia's, which relies on donations and efficiency.
Exactly.
And the fact they hit obscure pages makes caching less effective, leading to higher costs, potential slowdowns for humans. Raises big questions about AI developer responsibility and the sustainability of online info resources.
Moving to a more consumer-focused area, Roblox is implementing some new parental control features.
Oh, good. What are they adding?
Ability for parents to view their child's friend list, block users on their child's behalf, even block specific experiences within the game. Also adding more detailed screen time metrics. Looks like they're responding to safety concerns.
Those updates are welcome and necessary. Viewing friend lists, blocking users, restricting games, addresses key concerns about online interactions and content. Detailed screen time tracking empowers parents, too. Suggests Roblox is becoming more responsive.
Over in Laptops, Framework, the modular laptop company,
I like their stuff.
they announced pre-orders for their entry-level 2-in-1 touchscreen laptop, the Framework Laptop 12, begin April 9th. We'll get pricing and specs then. Could be interesting for those valuing customization and longevity.
Framework's commitment to modularity and repairability is unique and appealing, addresses e-waste concerns. An entry-level 2-in-1 could reach a broader audience interested in versatility and sustainability. The anticipation for the pre-order launch shows the interest in their approach.
For home audio, Sonos announced permanent price cuts on its Era 100 smart speaker and Ray soundbar, both now $199.
Oh, nice price drop.
Yeah, might make them more attractive if you've been on the fence.
Yeah, those permanent cuts make them more competitive. Could be strategic, maybe clearing inventory for new stuff. But for consumers looking for wireless audio, definitely enhances the value proposition.
Sony unveiled its 2025 Bravia TV lineup. Range of options. Top end is the flagship QD OLED Bravia 8.2.
QD OLED, nice.
Mid-range is the mini LED Bravia 5 up to a massive 98 inches.
98 inches, wow.
And budget option is the Bravia 2 Second with a direct lit LED panel. Pricing and availability coming this spring.
Sony's lineup showcases diverse tech, QD OLED for flagships, mini LED for brightness and size, direct lit LED for entry-level improving quality across the range. Spring timeframe isn't too long to wait for details.
Sony's also expanding its Bravia Theater audio lineup with the new Bar 6, more compact Dolby Atmos DTS:X soundbar with a wireless sub.
A smaller Atmos bar.
Also an all-in-one 5.1.2 system called Bravia Theater System 6 and new Bravia Theater Rear 8 speakers. Pricing and availability also expected this spring. Looks like a comprehensive suite.
Yeah, expanding the Bravia Theater lineup gives more options for immersive audio. The Bar 6 is a compact Atmos solution, System 6 a complete setup, Rear 8s enhance the ecosystem. Shows commitment to high-quality audio complementing their TVs.
For outdoor cooking folks, Uni debuted new gas-powered Coda 2 and Coda 2 Pro pizza ovens.
Ooh, new Unis.
New burners, better heat efficiency, more resilient stones, Bluetooth via the Uni Connect hub. Coda 2 is $449 now. Coda 2 Pro is $749 on May 1st. Your pizza game could get a serious upgrade.
The new Codas sound like a significant evolution. Better burners and stones mean better results. Bluetooth adds modern convenience, higher price points, but the enhanced features likely justify it for serious pizza fans.
Samsung announced more affordable Fan Edition models of their Galaxy Tab S10 tablets. The S10 FE and S10 FE Plus Day, available April 10th, powered by Exynos 1580 up to 90 Hz refresh rate. More budget-friendly way into their premium tablet experience.
Yeah, the fan edition strategy for tablets makes sense, like with their phones. Slightly less power, lower specs, but more accessible price while keeping key features. April 10th launches soon, too.
In sports tech, the English Premier League will start using semi-automated offside technology, SAOT, in live matches starting April 12th.
The automated offsides.
Aim is to make calls around 30 seconds faster on average. Should lead to fewer controversies, quicker flow.
Implementing SO is a big step for accuracy and efficiency in football officiating. Using automated systems reduces reliance on subjective judgment, minimizes delays and controversies. 30 seconds faster could noticeably impact game pace.
Sci-fi fans. A trailer for Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 3 dropped. Looks like retro 60s vibes, more holodeck, and Rhys Darby potentially playing a version of Q.
Rhys Darby is Q. Interesting.
New season arrives this summer. No specific date yet. Looks exciting.
Yeah, the trailer suggests more engaging storytelling, classic Trek themes, retro episode, potential Q introduction, adds anticipation. Summer isn't too far off.
The TikTok potential ban situation in the U.S. is still ongoing. Lots of potential buyers reportedly interested.
It's going. Who's in the running now?
Oracle, Microsoft, Perplexity AI, Project Liberty with Alexis Ohanian, a group with Mr. Beast and the Roblox CEO, Amazon made a late bid, AppLovin, even the OnlyFans CEO Tim Stokely.
Wow, that's a diverse list. From tech giants to content creators.
Yeah, deadline's approaching, but could be extended. Very dynamic situation.
The continued uncertainty and diverse buyers underscore the complex mix of geopolitics, regulation, business interests, variety of potential paths if a sale happens. Deadline adds urgency, but timelines can change.
Finally, Anthropic, the AI company behind Claude, announced Claude for Education. Includes a new learning mode using the Socratic method to guide students, not just give answers.
Socratic method, interesting approach for AI.
Available to pro users with .edu addresses, partnering with universities. Looks like a potentially valuable tool for learning and critical thinking.
Yeah, Claude for Education, focusing on guiding students through questioning, could foster deeper learning and critical thinking, rather than just rote memorization. Partnering with universities suggests thoughtful integration into education.
So what a day in tech, right? Especially if you're a Nintendo enthusiast. From the Switch 2 reveal price, specs, that game share feature, GameCube games, to the deep dive into micro SD Express cards.
Yeah,
Hopefully this gave everyone a clear picture.
definitely.
The built-in voice chat and mouse-like Joy-Cons are certainly intriguing, addressing long-standing requests and opening up new gameplay possibilities.
It has been a truly comprehensive day, yeah. Particularly the Switch 2 info. Significant hardware upgrades, innovative features like game share and game chat, strong game lineup positions it as a major step forward.
Right.
The shift to microSD Express is a key detail. Interesting to see how adoption and pricing play out.
Considering the performance leap with Switch 2 and releasing enhanced versions of BotW and 2TechK simultaneously, it makes you wonder about backwards compatibility and these remastered experiences, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is this a smart strategy for Nintendo to leverage their back catalog, give fans a reason to revisit, or does it risk creating a sense you need to repurchase games to experience them at their best? That's certainly something to ponder.